Hello and welcome back to the channel, and something a bit different to what you normally see, but I want to take you through a 550 mile journey in an electric car from Germany. So we've had the weekend here at the Nurburgring, which you might be able to see, and I've obviously brought my EV. I've obviously not gone around the track in it, but we've come with friends. We're all petrol heads, so it's a good test to see how you get on doing 550 mile in a day. So we'll be leaving here in Germany and heading through Belgium, France, over the Eurotunnel, and then driving back up to Yorkshire. As I've said, 500 plus miles, and we're doing it in one kind of run. So the plan is to use Ionity chargers, which BMW you get with your charging card. You get a slightly cheaper rate, which I'll go through the costs at the end of the video. We have actually we're just charging the car now to 100%, so that we leave here perfect. We've had a bit of a nightmare with these. These are Total Energies chargers. Only one of the four work here. We did charge the car last night while we were in the vicinity, but honestly it was a nightmare, which is why I like using Ionity, because they're very good. So yeah, we're going to get it charged to 100%. We're going to go for some breakfast and then get on the road ahead of our 10-11 hours driving. So let's take you on the journey with us and talk you through how we're going to get this done. Breakfast done with now, so we're going to hit the road and head to his first charging stop. Now, as you can see from the image I've put on, we've got 183 mile range but 196 miles to go. I'm confident, in the car. It does about 240 mile in this weather, and the range is just showing us lower because of the environment we've been driving it in. So it's really hilly around here. The temperatures a bit lower as well, so I anticipate this is going to go up as we get on the road, and I'll update you en route, see how we get on, and then see if we can make it the 196 miles to the first charging point. So we're 200 miles in now, good 3 hour stint there without stopping. So we've travelled through Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands as well, which I didn't expect, and we're not a million miles from France now. So yeah, 200 miles. Now we've made use of the autobahns, is what I'll probably say, sitting at a reasonable speed. We've then kind of kept at the speed limits, and then as you've seen, we've arrived here with 40 miles. So just to give you some specs on the car, so my car is a BMW iX3. It has a 74 kilowatt usable battery. Now in the summer months, sort of now, we get around 240 miles. Winter probably 210 is what I experience. Now on the book it says 285 miles, so like with any car, you've got to expect a bit lower than what they say. Now I'm not doing anything out the ordinary. We've got the aircon on, we've got a cool box in the boot switched on. There's two of us, we've got his luggage as well, so I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. During the trip, when we were heading through out of Germany, when I'd obviously been stretching its legs, the range was actually, so we had 15 mile less range than what we had distance to travel, but as you've seen, as you're going up and down elevations, the range kind of sorts itself out and calculates again. When we hit Netherlands, the speed lowered to 60 mile an hour, and then we've been sat at 80 mile an hour, which is the speed limit this far through Belgium. So the range equaled out, and we've obviously arrived at this charging station with 40 miles left to go. So far so good. I think if we have a good stint at this charger and get it to about 90%, we'll probably make it back to Cambridge. Now we're heading up to Yorkshire, so Cambridge is only 100-ish miles, maybe a bit more for us then to the final destination. So we could possibly, if we get a good charge here, get all the way to Cambridge, and then that would be just 2 chargers over a 550 mile distance, maybe 560 I think it is. I think we're going to let it get to 90% here, and then sort of assess it once we're on the train and see what the traffic's like and things like that. We're charging while we're on the subject and while we're here and it's quiet. When you're leaving, that's the time to have it at 100%. You know, when you've been in bed, you've left the car and charge overnight. But when you're en route, you really want to be only charging to about 80%, and that's your maximum efficiency for charging, between kind of 10 and 80% in my experience for my car. Now, up to 90% for my car, the rate of charge does drop a little bit, but it's not bad. It's still charging at 50 kilowatts an hour. Now, it's more for the cost more than anything for me, but like for now, we're sat having his dinner. By the time we finish his dinner and his coffee, we'll probably be at 90% anyway. But I'll talk through the time that it's taken to charge, and I'll also cover the cost once we're back for how much this trip's actually cost us. So. So we've got a plan of attack. Now we're in Belgium at the minute. Have you seen there? We've got 100 mile to Calais. We've got 220 mile range after a 36-minute charge. Now the plan of attack is to stop 30 minutes or 30 miles into the UK. We're going to have some food. We just grabbed a coffee here and just stretched his legs a bit. So we're not really ready for food, but yeah, so that's what we're going to do, and I think that will give us enough time to get 100% charge, which will be enough to get us home. Now if that's the case, I'll be over the moon, and we're just going to try and play it by ear, but that's the goal, is that we've got one more charge while we're having some food, and that will get us home. So stay tuned to see if we can do it. So we're 300 mile in, and we've made it to the Eurotunnel, and we're going to get on the train. We're doing well. Got 100 mile left to go, which is plenty on the other side when we get off in the UK. So. Slight change of plan. So we're at the Eurotunnel, bit early, probably 2 hours before our train, and they don't have an earlier train for us. So we had a 50-minute wait here. We've been on charge for, I don't know, maybe 35 minutes so far. So we've grabbed some food in here. We're going to charge it to 100%. We're currently on about 95. So it's due to be done in 20 minutes. So we're just going to sit tight, relax a bit. We can't go anywhere really, so yeah, we're going to get it to 100%, and the goal is to get home. Home is 250 mile. I don't think we can do it, but what this will mean is we only need maybe 4 or 5 minute charge when we're probably ready for a rest. So we're probably going to drive for about 2.5 hours, and then assess the situation, see if we've got enough mileage. If not, we'll stop and we'll charge. But the goal is to get as far as we physically can without charging again. So yeah, as we are at the minute, we've covered, I think, just over 300 mile, and we've got, like I say, 240ish mile to go. My car has just ticked over onto 240 mile range, but with traffic and other things, I don't know if we'll be able to do it. So yeah, stay tuned, we'll see how we get on. So, slight update. We got on the tunnel, we were delayed about 45 minutes, sat in the car watching the battery deplenish. So the action plan to stop at Peterborough, which was an Ionity charger 150 mile away. Now we set off, throwing it down with rain, and rain really hinders your mileage. So we were circa 15 mile range less than what we needed to get home fully. So we decided, yeah, Peterborough's the way. Right, so we're another 100 mile in now, I think. We've got 131 miles to go, and the range is showing 140. So I think we're going to go for it, and it's turning into a little bit exciting for us, and we're going to attempt to do all the way home. So just to put that into perspective, we left Germany, we drove for 3 hours, we charged the car to 85%, we drove another hour and a half to Calais. At that point we'd done 300 mile, we charged the car 100%, and then we left Calais, got on the train, and we got 140 mile range. So chuck in the comments whether you think we're going to do it, but I'm fairly confident we are, and this is going to blow my mind, because this video was intended to be me knowing what to expect, but I never expected we could do a 550 plus mile journey on just 2 chargers, and one of the chargers not even being to 100%. So just to update you, it's getting nerve-wracking now. So we are 54 miles from destination. We've got 60 miles range. Now the problem we've got is we're on the A1 and it's constantly up and down. So I think we're getting it, and we're on a long run downhill now, so we should collect some more range. But I just wanted to update you all. We are 488.5 miles into our journey, so we're doing well. It's just getting nerve-wracking, so I'll update you probably in half an hour or so. Right, so we're a bit further on. We're now 517 mile into our journey, and we have 31 miles left to go. We're at our decision point, the last charger, and we've got 35 mile left of range. So we're 4 miles separate. We're currently in a 50 zone, so I think we can do it. So yeah, I'll update you when we get back to base. And that's it, I'm home. 544.5 miles. I have 11 miles range left, and yeah, I've drove all the way from Calais to Yorkshire without stopping in an electric car. Absolutely unbelievable. But there we go, zoom in a bit, 544.5 miles. We have 11 miles of range left. Was it enjoyable? Absolutely not. Probably realistically we would stop, we would have probably had, you know, 3 or 4 minutes charge just to give that confidence factor. But yeah, I'm impressed, and I've done 60,000 miles over 2 cars, electric cars. So yeah, it's 12 hours and 59 minutes since we left this morning in Germany, so I'm tired, need something to eat. It's been a long day driving, so I'll have a few days, got a few busy days at work, and then we'll wrap this video up and I'll do a bit of an overview and take you through the details and how much it's actually cost to do this trip. I'll do it for the way home and then what it's cost altogether to do about, I think it's 1,100 miles in total. So yeah, impressed, but time for some rest now. So we're back from the trip, car's done well, I'm rested, and we're ready to go through some figures and final thoughts on how we got on. So car performed brilliantly. I'm still quite surprised that we did it how we did it, with only 2 charge stops and one of the stops not even being to 100%, and we could have probably done that a lot less as well, maybe more 50%, to give us about a 100-mile range. So just to touch on charging time, so the first charge in Belgium took 36 minutes, and the second charge took 59, so a total of an hour and a half-ish for us to charge the car to get home. Now, as I've said earlier, it's not efficient to be charging your car when en route over 80%. Now, we only did the 100% because we had nowhere to go. We was already at the Eurotunnel, and we may as well use the time to get the charge up to 100%. But as you can tell, the first charge, you know, we did circa, I think it was about 40%, and that took half an hour. The second charge we did about the same, but it took 59 minutes because we got it to 100%, and anything over 80% is just not efficient. Now, my car is rated to 150 kilowatt chargers, so in theory, if it sat at 150 kilowatts for the full 0 to 100%, this car would be fully charged in 30 minutes. But to protect the life of the battery, the rates are reduced when we get up to the 80% mark, and when we're more 98%, it can be as low as 7 kilowatts of charge, which, you know, it would take 10 hours to charge my car. Now, granted, we had delays at the Eurotunnel, and with that, it meant that even if we were doing this journey in a petrol or diesel car, we wouldn't have done it any faster. If any, we both sort of approaches to driving a car, if you're electric or petrol or diesel, both had about a 40-minute delay. Now, going, I think we were probably hindered 20 minutes by charging, and we were doing kind of 2.5-hour stints on the way there. Now, on the way back, as you've seen, we did a 3-hour stint initially. We're both busting for the toilet. Could have charged less in Belgium, but we had the time, we were having a coffee, and we thought we'll just stretch his legs and wait a little bit, and then get to, I mean, the initial plan was not to charge at Calais, but because of the delays, we took advantage of that. So to touch on costs of the trip, so firstly, we'll just do the return journey that we've videoed here. So the first charge we did, where I started this video at the Nurburgring, that cost £44.93, but the car was very empty, and the last figure I give you will be a comparable to when you're charging at home to when you're charging publicly. So yeah, £44 we started at for the first charge to get us prepped for the journey home. Stop in Belgium, we charged the car to 85%. Now that costs £20.18p. As you can see, we charged at Ionity, and I do that because it's kind of part of BMW, if I understand it right, and it may be part of Audi and Mercedes as well. And part of my first year with BMW, I get the cheaper rate for free. Going into the second year, it's £11.99 a month to get the discounted rate, and I think that knocks it down from about 60p per kilowatt down to 40p a kilowatt. Now, if you think the car's 74 kilowatt battery times 60p by 74, that gives you how much it would cost to literally fill the car from 0 to 100%. That's never the case when charging out and about, and that's my experiences. You only charge out and about enough to get you to your destination, i.e. home, so that you're maximising the cheaper rates. So in my instance, I get a cheaper rate overnight, and that's 7.5p per kilowatt. So to charge my car, as you can imagine, it's very cheap in comparison to charging publicly. Stop we did at Calais, and we obviously changed our plan and went to charge the car fully 100% to get us home. Now that cost us £28. Those charges were dearer, and I think we actually charged a bit less, but unfortunately it was a decision to make. Time was more precious to us than it was the actual cost, so we actually paid 20p a kilowatt more at 60p per kilowatt for that charge at Calais, but it did save us having to stop again before getting home. Finally, the charge at home. So we started with 100%, so for a true costing we needed to finish with 100%. So I arrived home with 3.5 kilowatts in the car of power. Now I charged the car fully overnight, and I'm on a tariff with Octopus, which is the Octopus Intelligent tariff, so they actually control when the car is charged. So when I plugged in at 9 o'clock when I got home, I said I needed the car by 9 a.m. the next morning, and they just charged the car straight away. But I take advantage of 7.5p for the whole house and the car when they choose to charge it. So that charge cost £5.28, I think it was. So as you can see, I fully charged my car for pretty much for £5, yet I was only charging 50% when publicly for £20-30. But yeah, they're the figures for the journey home. Total cost for the journey home was £98.83 for 544 miles with a little bit left. So yeah, not the cheapest when charging publicly. So just to touch on total cost for the full trip, we did 1,145 miles exactly, going, running around and then driving home. Now that costs a total of £149. Now I know my figures may seem a little bit off there, but I could probably split the charge that I did at Nurburgring over going price to coming back, because it were only £50 going. So yeah, 1,100 mile to do at £150, so we've averaged 13p a mile. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty comparable to a petrol or diesel fueled car. So as with all the videos I do, I try to be factual and very neutral about the information that I give on them, and hopefully this has come across the same. I thought it was a good opportunity to kind of share my experience as an owner of an EV, and I have been for the last sort of 2.5 years and done circa 60,000 miles. So I'm quite versed in travelling long distance and doing high mileage in an EV. Now my car I use for work, and I don't do public charging anymore as often, but I'm still doing circa 200 mile a day with what I do. I just get the opportunity to charge it at home. So yeah, please do pop any questions down below. I'm more than happy to help and advise from my experience. I'm not saying every EV performs the same as what mine does. Mine's better in some areas and not so good in others. Talking to people such as mine's not very good round town on efficiency, but on the motorway it's good, and vice versa. So yeah, do pop any questions down below. I'm more than happy to help, and please make sure you subscribe for more videos of this nature, albeit not really DIY as a topic. So thank you for watching. Please do give it a thumbs up, and I'll probably catch you in the next one. Cheers.